Hey everyone, Genome here, coming to you with the next episode in my chess game review series. This is kind of the series where I walk you through some interesting games of mine, or at least the ones that I considered interesting, and I don't know, that we can kind of extrapolate as we go whether they were even worthy of recording. So anyway, all that being said, let's get into it. This is a game that I played a few days ago and finished up, and I was actually talking about it during the breakdown of my last uploaded chess game, right? And this was a wild game. There was a Paul Keres game, and I cannot remember who it was, where Keres basically put himself into kind of a vulnerable position on purpose. King was fraught with danger, but that man could calculate like crazy, and he knew in the end there was no real danger, right? It looked really dangerous for, the layperson, but, for an expert like such as himself, it really wasn't that big a deal. But me, I'm like 3, maybe 4 moves, if I'm lucky, in a very clear position. So in this one, I was actually up material quite early and decided to perform a similar feat, not so much feat, but action, as Keres did, and just sit there and let him blitz me, and hope this attack ran out of steam. Sometimes I think I came up with decent defenses, and sometimes maybe I got lucky. I don't know. But in any case, let's go ahead and go through it. I don't think too much of note happens right away. I'm playing black, by the way. Okay, he's got a fianchetto bishop. Pretty strong, but typical. Just developing. What was I doing here? Probably just going after this pawn, see if I can get him to mess up his pawn structure over here some. Okay. So now I have a loose pawn hanging here, which I take care of. Now, at the risk of him taking and messing up my pawn structure on the queen side, we'll see what I do here, what happens here. Okay. Kind of fighting for the center a little bit, but develop. I might be castling queen side, looks like, this game. This move here is basically to keep his knight from infiltrating too far. If he goes here, I'll probably just take with my bishop. I don't want him to get a strong outpost with his knight, but that's probably what's going on, but we'll see. Okay, he castles kingside, I castle queenside, so usually that means fireworks will ensue. That's when you're going for a mating attack a lot of times. So, typically he will expand on the queen side, I'll expand on my queen side, he'll expand on the king side a little bit, and we'll see what happens. But what was my idea here? I think I was either going to push my h-pawn to h6, or I was going to swing my bishop over to h6 to kind of stop this from opening up. We will see. It doesn't really stop anything, though. It's not really a good spot for the bishop. I may just be looking at fianchetto here. I'm not totally sure what I was doing here. I was playing multiple games at this time, so sometimes you don't remember your little plans and plots. Okay, that's good. So now basically he's freed up his dark square bishop, and I have basically a pawn hanging in the breeze. If memory serves, I do buttress it up with my bishop, but maybe the pawn move would have been better. I think I was afraid of getting my bishop locked in because all these pawns aren't moving anytime soon, and if I just fianchetto to g7 with my bishop, it's not going to go anywhere or do anything too useful for quite a while. So I'm betting that I swing my bishop over to defend. Yep. Okay. I'm not reading over here, by the way. I'll glance back at it if it looks like I blunder or something. I can talk about it, but I'm trying to just go by memory. Okay, so developmental move the knight. There is a very strong outpost here that's defended several times, and I think he'd love to get his knight there. I would just trade with my knight, though, at that point. That would also have the benefit of maybe letting me free my queen to jump over to a dark square if need be, but let's see. Okay, so I go to the outpost first. I'm guessing he will just grab with his knight, and then I'll advance my pawn and then attack his knight, but let's see. Nope. Okay, so he's definitely expanding on the queen side, and looks like a pawn storm heading towards my king. Could be pretty dangerous in these queen-side castle maneuvers. Okay, so basically I'm lining up pieces for a couple different reasons. One, I want to put another defender on this pawn in case he drops his own pawn down here to like h4 or something like that. Or I may want to move this bishop back at some point, and I bet that's what I'm going to do here, is actually bring my bishop back to f8 or something, but I don't know for sure. But anyway, this is lining up with his king also, so fairly safe move. But it's definitely wanting me to trade bishops off right away, and I think I considered that, and I don't think it availed me much. I have my queen sitting over there, not doing a whole lot. I guess I could try to maneuver some rooks around, but it would take several moves. Like, for instance, dropping my rook back to f8, rook lift to g6, over to h6. This is, and then maybe going for a mate here. But I mean, it's a lot of moves, and there's a lot of ways he could defend pretty easily right here. Or moving his queen to the game, bringing his bishop in, you know, dropping a knight back, whatever. But it just would have taken a while. So I think I was going for something else here. Okay, he's really challenging my knight hard on d4, and I've only got it defended once. So I probably just take his knight ahead of time. Nope, okay. So I think this is a bluff move, but I'm also looking at his bishop here because I'm not really liking it, being on this diagonal with my king over here. It kind of opens me up to maybe a little bit of shenanigans. So I'm probably putting it to him to either take with his bishop right away, or I'm going to just go ahead and take with my knight and mess up his pawn structure. It does open up his rook, though, but a lot of times you want to open up on the f pawn here because it opens your king up a little bit. But let's see what I do. I don't remember. Okay, he's further expanding on the queen side over there. Okay, so I just go ahead and take that strong bishop. It was doing a lot of work. Now I'm guessing he's going to take with the pawn, but let's see. Yep. Okay, so I think I do. Do I do something strange here? E2. I'm trying to remember. Let's see what I do, and then I'll try. Okay. Nope, I didn't do anything too spectacular here. That kind of really just helps him develop his queen a little bit. It connects his rooks and gets his queen to a semi-useful diagonal here. It's uncontested. Also a file here. He can double up on the file, but it's not really going to do anything with his bishop right here, but let's see. Okay, so I moved that piece back, so kind of losing a tempo there. I think I'm just here defending this pawn in case he doubles up. Okay, nice and slow. Let's see if I push or if I take. I think I take with the pawn here. Recapture, okay. Now, this does open up a file really close to my king, so things are a little bit dangerous and risky right now. So I'm guessing he or the computer is going to say swing on over to b2 and really start the attack here, and then fortify it up with his knight, or his rook, excuse me. But let's see. Okay, he pushes a pawn. He's fighting for the center, and yeah, I think the computer's actually trying to get him to swing over to b1, like we were saying. You put rooks on open files if you can, right? This file's closed. This would cut off some escape routes for my king. It opens up some mating possibilities with the queen down there. Just a pretty good spot. Now, if you'll notice, my king is a little bit constrained here, and it's going to get worse. So anyway, he's going through a center. I capture. I'm sure he recaptures the pawn. That fixes his pawn structure. He's got a really strong center here. Basically, he has complete domination of the 5th rank here. So I can't really progress anywhere. This pawn could be a little bit loose and weak, though. If his queen ever moves, I can nab it with my bishop. But then again, it looks like he's probably pushing his pawn here shortly. Okay, if he can cut his bishop, this pawn is hanging, and this would be a pretty devastating one because it's hanging with a check. King is also on this dark square diagonal, so let's see if he fixes it here. Okay, he does. So now he's got a nice strong center. Okay, just take. See, it's kind of bad because I'm opening up a lot of different lanes and files here against my king. So if he swings his rook over to the D file, his other rook over to the B file, man, I got nowhere to go, and this pawn is stopping any kind of forward movement. So right now he's a few moves away from checkmate, just about anywhere if I'm not really careful. I am up. Actually, I'm not up any material yet. I think I do here shortly because he opened that up. So that was a mistake because I'm going to take with check and pick up his knight for free. It's undefended. It's hanging loose. So check. And That was the blunder. What did I want him to do? H1. Okay, just wanted him to move the king. The reason I think it prefers that is because I still have a dark square bishop. At some point, I may... Actually, my queen's still there, too. This locks his rook in. He cannot move it. It's pinned now. So it does become a weakness. I do try to exploit it later. I don't think I'm ever able to find the time. But, so yeah, I think that's why it's suggesting that. There's no real back-rank issues because he's still got his rook over there on A8. And he also has a queen to back it up, so I can't just drop down. And plus, he's covered back there. So there's no back-rank issues. That's probably what it's talking about. Okay, so there's my free piece. Right now, his rook is hanging, so he's got to address this as well. So now I'm up a piece. Now, he does a sack here. Well, it's not even a sack. It's just, I think... It's a trap! He's starting to see a mating net here, right? And this is what I was talking about earlier. So this is the most crucial moment of the game. And I think I took a little bit of time here. We weren't playing a rapid game or anything, but I think I sat there and kind of pondered this for a little while because I see what's going on here. Like, I mean, there's a ton of checks that can go on. My king is kind of loose back here. I got one defender. And if you look over here, I got no place to stick him. Also notice, this pawn on e5 is incredibly strong because it cuts off the 6th rank from the king completely. So basically, I am really low on escape squares. He's also got another pawn to be advanced eventually. He's got a lot going on. He's got 2 rooks, lots of open files around the king. This is a really bad spot, and I think I thought on this for quite a while, whether to take this bishop, which, I mean, it's probably going to be the best move, right? But I was really trying to think about this one a little bit more. Should I start escaping my king now while I have a chance, or...
Can't talk. Keeping myself in a state of count-like readiness. Neat.
Do I just go and take that piece? So I know I take. Okay, so... Now, remember how I said that this game got pretty crazy? Well, here it comes, because I'm on the run now for quite some time. So let's go ahead and start. I'm guessing he's going to bring his rook over to b1. Oh, okay, no, he checks me with the queen. A bit different there. Okay, but that actually works pretty well for him, too, because he infiltrates now. All right, so I don't want to go over to the A. Okay, I get trapped very easily over there. So, retreat back to c1. All right, so I'm guessing now he swings the rook over. Nope, okay. Checks me there.
Necesito huir.
Now, there's no danger of me losing a rook here because I got both my rooks back here, but they're not really doing anything right now. And my king is, see how loose he is? I mean, there's just checks going to be coming aplenty here. So now I think he's finally going to move his A rook over there. There he goes. All right, so I'm in a precarious spot here. I have no egress on the F file. I have no egress on the D file. Which is completely cut off. I have no egress back on the H rank right here, or the 8th rank, excuse me. This queen is pretty far back into territory. Now, it is open, so he's going to have to keep checking me or move it or something, but I got a free pawn right here that he can take, and then swing his queen over. Basically, he's like 2 moves from checkmate here, if I'm not really careful. So, I'm trying to remember what my next move is. There's a couple options here. Taking this pawn, it helps shore up the defense a little bit, but also moving it over to b4 allows me to protect some things, but I don't remember. Let's see what I do here. Okay. Well, it's white's move anyway, so best move. Okay, so now we are looking at checkmate possibility right here because he's 1 move basically away from checkmate. Either on... d6 or on which would be not checkmate right away, but it would be 1 more move and then checkmate, or taking on c7. Let's see, I do have an escape square, but I think he could perpetual. No, he could perpetual me or possibly checkmate me then still too. But so what do I do now? I think that I take this pawn, and let's take a look with the bishop. Yeah, okay, so I was thinking quite a while on this one, whether to swing the rook over and try to force him to trade here. There's a couple different options. I thought this was the strongest because it also defended this pawn down here. He can't really bring his rook down to check me right now. Plus, it lets my king escape, but his rook is still over here, so I can't really escape anywhere yet. But I remember that I liked this the best to see what was it wanting from me? A5. I think I considered that one too. And the computer's obviously going to probably be right, but this is what I worked with. So basically, there's still some free checks here. C5, I'm guessing he's going to next. Yep, there is C5, so gotta be very careful. Okay, so now I'm blocking. The only reason I can do this is because the pawn is fortifying this, so he can't just take with his rook and or his queen. I don't really have any time to do with anything with my queen to help with the defense. There's, I think, a point later on where I try, but... Okay, another check. So, in this case, you have basically two options. You retreat to either light square here, or I advance the pawn, and it has a pretty good advantage of being backed up by a rook here. This rook is finally going to do some work, and I'm pretty sure that's what I'm going to do. It still kind of opens me up to some checks, though, so it's not over yet. So I'm still running for my life back here, right? Okay. So he retreats the queen. I figured he was coming down here to check, but he didn't, so... I'm not exactly sure what he was doing. It says the computer says excellent move. Not the best, but excellent. But basically, he's down material. He has to get the checkmate here, right? So if the attack dies, fizzles out, he's just lost. Okay, so I take this because I'm trying to get him to trade queens. I'm up material, trade queens. If he loses his queen, the attack is basically over, and I'm going to win this game. It also has, I can attack this other pawn over here, maybe advance this pawn eventually, but that's my whole idea here, is just to trade queens. It's protected by the bishop here. There's no, basically pinning of pieces here. You'll see. But I can't really lose a bishop by screwing up and and putting it like a few paces away from my king, right? So, yeah, okay, he does take. So I take. So right now, I would love to be able to have time to move my bishop over to c5 and win his rook, right? Because it'd be pinned. But no time really. You just got to take what you can get. Not get too greedy. I'm pretty sure I can defend this. I have a couple of escape routes here. So he checks again. So I've been checked a lot of times. Okay, so now I'm really safe, and I have the bishop pair. I'm up basically two pieces here, and it's a bishop pair in the end game, so this game is really technically over. Okay, let's see. Now I'm just trading pieces. Trade down, and I think that was the last move of the game. Yeah, that was it. So basically there's nothing he could do. My bishop's going to slice into pieces. I'm going to go up here next, make him trade rooks, and then it'll be just two bishops and 4 pawns versus his 3 pawns. It's easy game. So yeah, but I thought this game was pretty interesting in the fact that let's see where it was. I knew at this point here that it was going to get very dicey, and there was a couple spots where if I would have screwed up here, I definitely would have got checkmated because the mating net was real. I just like I said, either through a little luck or actual proper deliberation, I was able to usually find an escape route. But it was a really fun game, and like I said, I was sweating through a lot of it. And it actually took place over like 2 days, it wasn't like all instantaneous moves. So anyway, hope you found that one enjoyable. I know I certainly did. It was a hair raiser, and yeah, sometimes they go all classical style on you, and you gotta fight to stay alive. Sack mate is the old credo from like the 1800s or whatever, and so I felt like I was falling into that because he had 3 really strong attacking pieces here in his queen and open file rooks, 2 of them, and a pawn down here. I had no place to go.
The chances are 1 in a million.
That's still better than any state lottery.
But yeah, so pretty interesting stuff. So anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Stay tuned for more possible games like this. I only do the ones that I find really interesting, so I don't play a ton, so you probably won't see a whole lot of these. But anyway, I thought this one was kind of interesting. So if you enjoyed this, let me know. If there's a more efficient way of me doing things, just let me know that too, because goodness knows that I need help with my game often. But yeah, so thanks again for watching. Until next time, this is Genome, just running for his king's life. Out.